Hey guys, so on this week's episode, we were supposed to jump into more of the Sermon on the Mount with Jesus, but all of a sudden, a conversation stirred about whether or not you believe you're God's favorite and what the Word says about it. So me and Gio decided we're just going to hit record and see what happens.
By the way, we're Red Letters Podcast. In this podcast, we discuss topics that can be life transforming while delivering hope. Enjoy.
The thing is, it feels, I mean, my physical father, when he disciplined me, was one thing, but when God disciplines me,
I know you didn't get discipline from your dad.
Yeah, I did get disciplined.
No, you've told us too many stories.
I did a couple of times. I did a couple of times.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I believe that everyone that's convinced that they're God's favorite, that you can be, because I think each and every person can be His favorite.
How though? Then, but favorite. Someone needs to Google favorite, because I think when
For
I think
God
of favorite,
so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. That makes everybody. He loves everybody.
Right. But I personally,
with the hope of everybody turning to Him.
What Gio's trying to understand is, how do we justify saying that we're God's favorite when the Word says that He has no favorites?
I agree with that.
Don't you just agree, like, hey, I'm loved by God?
Yeah,
like,
I agree with that. That's probably safe to say.
No, but I understand what you're saying, because there was a time where I was saying that I was His favorite, and there was a song. Remember that song, Ruth?
When he was a Pharisee. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
Can you get that knife out of my back?
No, you're talking about Missy Edwards.
You're gonna break the handle off.
You're talking about Missy Edwards' favorite one.
Yeah,
that's when I started singing it so much.
I love that song, and I would sing it, and she's like, "No, he don't have no favorites." Yeah. At the time, now she's his favorite.
No.
You think about.
You know what? I'm spoiled. And
That's
I
worse.
feel sometimes I feel like I'm his favorite, but I know that he has no favorites.
We should do a recording on this.
And that's why I do believe he doesn't have any favorites. The truth is, he doesn't have any favorites.
Think about this,
but I do believe he loves us all.
In the scripture, I can't think of it on top of my head, but he even talks about how that not everyone not everyone receives the mysteries and the secrets of heaven. But there are some who do, but those that draw near, right? Like his close friends. And so for me, I view that as favorite, because like that song where it says, here I am, your favorite one. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? I have to know. And it's a bomb song, and it's so simple. But that provokes something in me. It's like, it's the friends of God, like those few that choose to set themselves apart, that I equate as like, they're his favorite. But I know that they're not. Like, I will never say theologically he has favorites. But in my heart, I claim. And I feel like when you live that way,
you have to.
You even pursue the Lord in a way.
You carry yourself different.
I feel like you do.
I have to. Yeah, you know what though? For me, I caught myself because I thought that I started thinking that way, and that I was spoiled, that God spoils, because He started it by telling me, "Oh, you're spoiled by God."
Oh,
you know, and I was like, and it hit me like, you know, maybe I am spoiled by God, because God does this for me, God does that for me, God said this to me, God told me this, and God showed me this, showed me that. But then it got to the point where you get over familiar and you think, I know God, you don't know God, so I know better than you.
And that's the Pharisee.
And that's different. No, that's pride.
But I'm talking about being like a son or daughter. But not even that. It's being like a friend of God.
Kind of pride.
I love the phrase "friend of God," because if in reality, say you have 5 children, and all 5 children are asking, "Who's your favorite?" And you're like, "You're all my favorite." Then that automatically disqualifies everyone from being their favorite. And I think it goes to like the next episode where we're saying that your yes be yes. Like, what you say is how you, like, what you believe. So like, how could you believe that you're a favorite of God? Like, if He says, I don't have favorites, so why do you keep saying you're my favorite?
I have 5 children, and they're all boys.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not like a girl there that I can say the girl, because the girl would have been my favorite. I'm gonna say no. So
it's not recording, right?
So I have 5 boys, right? And I have a special relationship with each one of my, and it's different. Okay, but if you ask Marcos, which is my third. It's from
The middle child?
He's not a middle child, so he would be. It's Nick and then Marcos. So that babies, Nick and then
okay.
Marcos. If you ask Marcos, who's your favorite? Andrew. Andrew's her favorite. Everybody knows that Andrew's my oldest. If you ask Andrew, Andrew always says it's Nick because Nick is the baby. If you ask Chris, Chris will always say it's Marquitos because she always does everything for Marquitos. If you ask, so they all do that.
Yeah.
But if you were to ask, like, if I was to say who is my favorite, they all are my favorites. But Marquitos would today when he showed up at the house, I went in late for work. I didn't care. I just got out of the shower, was ready, put my hair up, put some different clothes on, and I quickly started cooking when everybody else was asking for food. I was like, I'm running late for work, and then he shows up, and I stop everything that I'm doing, and I go and cook for him.
Oh, so Marquitos is your favorite?
So then they say he's my favorite. But then I'm like, wait, but the other night when Jacob showed up, I had just gotten home. I was so tired and I went straight to the kitchen. Mijo, have you eaten it? And I started cooking.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden Jacob's my favorite. In that moment, that child, I'm doing more for the child that needs it or shows up. And there's 5 of them.
Yeah.
But if they're all there and I know they're all going to show up, I'm going to get up and do everything the same for all of them. Yeah. But if Marcos believes he's my favorite, Marcos is going to come and do, Mama, because I know you're my favorite. Okay, you are my favorite. Yeah. And then Jacob comes and, but I'm your, yes, of course you're my favorite. And that's how I feel God is. God, Ruth ran to him and said, God, I'm your favorite, right? And God said, of course you are, Ruth. And then I'm over here, God, I know that I'm your favorite. And he's like, of course you are, Mary. I really believe that.
That makes then more of like circumstantial favorites.
I don't think so. I
Well,
think
like
it's
from
just,
what you're saying, it seems like in a situation, one is your favorite in the moment, but not in like
in general.
in general.
Going to Mary's point though, like as far as
Should
like,
we hit record?
I
or-
am recording. Yeah.
Oh, you are?
Oh,
I've been
that's why
recording
you
from
keep
the-
grabbing the mic.
Yeah. So, and what I'm saying is though, like, given how you just said, like in the moment, okay, everyone thinks I'm your favorite. So say like I'm like on a bus stop and I'm waiting, and some guy was like, hey, I felt led to give you $50. And I'm like, what? Thank you. You take it and you say, God, thank you so much. I know I'm your favorite. And the guy sitting next to you at the bus stop, literally someone else comes up to him like, hey, here's keys to a new Lamborghini. And then the other guy's like, oh, I think I'm God's favorite. Like, it's kind of like,
Did you need a car?
that's a
Because
good
you were
question.
probably
Yeah.
driving a car, right? And that car.
No, I was waiting
did
for the
not
bus
ha-
actually. So
yeah,
I
okay.
did need a car.
So-
Actually, I was at the
no,
bus stop.
that kind of car.
But-
so I believe that God meets us where we're at and gives us what we need, not what we want.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. When my children show up, I don't give them what they need. I don't give them what they want. I give them what they need, but they have all of me whenever they need. Like, Mom, I just needed to talk. I'm right here. I will drop everything that I'm doing for you at that moment because he needs it. And it's not, I don't believe it's circumstantial. If it's circumstantial for him that he needed me at that moment, I will make myself available for him. And for each one of my children that they come to me, and if he believes he's my favorite, guess what? I'm going to sit there and I'm going to let him believe he's my favorite because he is. And I think all of them are, except it's when they want to say they're I'm not going to pick out and say, you're my favorite. But if he comes to me and says, I know I'm your favorite, of course you are.
So actually, I think I just got another thought.
Yes.
How do you guys explain where Paul says, I might get serious now,
Go
when
for it.
I'm the least or I'm the worst sinner? Because I feel like when you say you're God's favorite, you're kind of like almost like your head's up here, your head's rising, versus like a humility, like understanding, like, God, who am I?
That's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
About that.
Okay.
Let me.
Hold on. Oh, okay. Deb, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, because I was just because there's again, I'm not gonna. I don't have reference on the top of my head, but just like he
scriptures.
says, the rain falls on the good
Just
and the
and the
bad, the
unjust.
just and the unjust. So he's showing you there that there's no favoritism. But in my context, it's not that I see myself as like higher than or like, oh, I'm gonna hold my head up high over people who think I'm better than them. No, but I favor in the sense of like, Lord, I'm so close to your heart that I get to hear and know the secrets of your heart that no one else does because I'm choosing to draw near.
So why don't you just call yourself a friend of God? Because friends
That's
do
what
that.
I do. I do both. My name literally means friend of God, bro.
Your question was, how do you what did you say? I'm sorry.
Like I'm just saying, like, how do you like for us? When I started, I said like Paul says, like, I am the worst sinner. Like the humility and like understanding you're nobody. Like,
Right.
who am I that God would listen to me? But then there is like a boldness because of what Christ did, that you can actually go up and like, God, you hear me because of what your son did.
Yes.
So like, where's the? Because I feel like when you say I'm God's favorite, it feel like it could just lead down a dark path.
So
Not really.
I'm
but
thinking of the two
Not really.
of the two men that went before Jesus, and one of them they're in the church, I believe, and one of them is saying, "Oh, I'm so good. I did this. I did that," and the other one's hitting his chest and saying, "I'm a sinner. I'm this. I'm that." What did God? What was the reply to that?
I know exactly where that is.
Oh, Ruth's pulling it up.
So,
Yeah.
okay, as she's looking for that verse, think about that. That's how I see myself. God, I am no good. I'm not even worthy. I'm not worthy of you even choosing me. I'm not worthy of even like sitting at the feet of sitting at your feet. I don't feel that I'm worthy. But I love that you love me and you still choose me. So even though in my sin, he loves me, even though that I mess up over and over and in all my flaws, he still chooses to love me. How can I not believe that I'm not his favorite? And I know that I'm a sinner. And I confess to him that I must look, I messed up so many times. You shouldn't like, not anymore, not me, don't choose me. And he's like, no, I still love you and I'm still going to choose you. And that's how I equate that. Because I think of these two men that went up. One of them had arrogance and pride and said, oh, I'm all of this. I don't believe he's the favorite. He may believe he's a favorite, but yeah.
Is it the story of the Pharisee and the tax collector?
Yeah.
So it says 2 men went to the temple to pray. One was a Pharisee and the other was a despised tax collector. The Pharisee stood by himself and prayed this prayer. I thank God that I am not like the other people, cheaters, sinners, and adulterers. I'm certainly not like that tax collector. I fast twice a week and I give 1/10 of my income. And then it says, but the tax collector stood at a distance and dared not even lift his eyes to heaven as he prayed. Instead, he beat his chest in sorrow, saying, "O God, be merciful to me, for I am a sinner." I tell you, this sinner, not the Pharisee, returned home justified before God. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted.
See,
Because I think what you guys are saying, I agree with like your thought behind
Right.
it. For me, it's almost like, to me,
say it?
no, I guess why say it, but because I think that could be an internal monologue you can have. And there's
is it a
nothing
little
wrong-
pride behind it, maybe?
No, but
that we have pride.
But I almost feel like for me to say that, I almost feel like you get too comfortable. Like how my mom initially said, like it almost like saying, "Oh, Jesus is my bro," you know, like, and then he's not really your Lord, or not that, but you treat him more like a bro than like Lord, Savior, Christ. So I think that's for me the struggle I have. Is
okay.
I feel like once I say, "Oh, I'm your favorite," then I feel like an entitled little baby,
Aw.
Well, I think
In my
it's,
head.
I think
No, but I'm saying, I'm not saying I don't feel what you guys are saying. I'm just saying, like, I would rather in my head like just call myself, I'm thankful that I'm your friend,
Let me ask you a question. This
Okay.
might poke at you.
Okay.
Does it? I'm gonna just say it like the way we're talking.
Go ahead.
Does it bother you that you can't say that with confidence?
Does it bother me that No, because I feel like if I
'cause
were to
he's
say it
humble.
out loud, I probably would. No, I feel like I don't have a problem saying it, but I think for me, it's just like I'm like what I just said. I'm worried that I would step into a place where I don't reverence him. But then I know it's like your heart, and that's the gray area for me. I don't.
Okay, here's a verse that I'll throw at you. What about the woman that broke the alabaster box and was weeping with her hair with the perfume all over Jesus's feet? And he says, because she's been forgiven for much, she loves much. And those that are think that they've been forgiven of little, love little.
Yeah.
So what if that extravagant love in the name of favorite is because of the depth of forgiveness you got? Because sometimes, going back to the what she read about the tax collector and the turning around and like weeping, couldn't even lift his eyes, you could actually, it would be inverted pride where you turn around and you do that and you feel that you can never, "Oh God, I understand that even though you forgave me, I can't approach you." And so you could actually turn around and experience his love, his forgiveness, but live as a slave, because you're almost in bondage that you can never sit at the table with your heavenly Father.
Yeah, I don't feel like I have that struggle because I know what you're saying, and I think we could end up that way. Because for me, like I'm grateful, and I feel like I side with Paul. Like even though I haven't murdered anyone, I feel like my sin is so great it put Jesus on the cross. Even if I lied, I lusted and stuff like that would have put Christ on the cross. Right. And so in my eyes, I'm grateful that he calls me friend. He doesn't call me slave like how Jesus tells his disciples. He's like, I no longer call you slaves or servants, but I call you friends. And so I'm grateful, and I know that every time I come to pray, I could sit at his feet, and I don't feel like there's a distance, or I don't feel like unless, I don't know, I don't think there's an inverted pride to it. It's just, for me, like, if God says I don't have no favorites, then who are we to say you have favorites, God? Kind of thing.
That makes sense, and that makes a lot of sense.
Well, technically, no, I think technically you're right, but yeah. Technically, you're right, but I think it's the appreciation and love that you might have with him, and him letting you feel that you're special in his eyes when he comes through in ways that you can never imagine, and he just blesses you beyond what you anticipate. And then all of a sudden, it almost feels as if you're a favorite, although technically he doesn't have it. So I think it could be a play on words, but I think it's just a heart posture on how you see him and how you believe he sees you.
Yeah, because I think David says that. I don't know, maybe it might be David, but he says I'm the apple of his eye, or I don't know if he's talking about like man.
I think that was in Psalms, right?
Somewhere, yeah, I think, but it says that, I don't know if it said man is the apple of your eye, or if it was like I am the apple of your eye, because I think that could win the case because I think to say I am the apple of your eye. I don't know,
and doesn't John also say
I'm God's favorite?
Yeah, I'm the disciple whom the Lord loved.
Whom the Lord loves.
There, that's a good one.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like everyone could say that. And
but look at, here's John. He had that. I'm glad you guys brought that up. John, I got it right here. Psalm 17:8. Somebody want to get that. But you just brought up, or I don't know who brought up the John. Mary? Okay, there you go. Theologian Mary. But here's John. He had the most intimate relationship with Jesus, that when he's writing the book of John, he's saying the disciple whom the Lord loved. That's another way of saying I was his favorite out of the 12 disciples.
I don't know.
Really?
I think so.
Because
he's understanding the depth of love that he was able to walk in compared to
because
maybe
he knew
some of
how
the
much
other ones.
God loved him, but he didn't compare
Why are you
him.
arguing the case the opposite way now?
No, because the thing is,
she's on my side.
I know.
I need it back.
Yeah, she's going back and forth.
She's been on mom's side. I mean, Gio's side.
Here's the thing, though.
She's been on
because I think of even Paul when Paul says
No, but she says she was a favorite.
No, because I
think
used
she
to
was
say
joking. I think she was joking.
but I would say that, but deep down inside, I knew I wasn't his favorite because, and that's when I said, when God disciplines me, I don't feel so much like a favorite. It humbles me because I believe that
nobody enjoys discipline.
No, but I think if you think about Paul's walk, he was a good example. Paul was a good example of how God, as he walked deeper with God, and he got further in his ministry, his humility went less and like he became more humble. He became more humble. Now that's what I meant. He became more humble as he started walking his ministry. And then I was looking at the scriptures because it says where he says, first he starts off with, I'm the least of the apostles. In 1 Corinthians 15:9, you could read that. And then he goes on to say in Ephesians 3:8 says, I'm the least of the saints later on. And then he goes on in 1 Timothy 1:15, I'm the least of all the sinners. And there is, I'm the least of sinners. So he's comparing himself as he's walking this walk with the Lord and what he was going through. And I feel like if you were walking in Paul's shoes or even Jesus's shoes, let's say when he was walking here on earth, would you be, as you're going deeper in your walk and you're walking in your purpose and you're going through, let's say what Paul went through, and even what Jesus was going through, would you be telling yourself, I'm God's favorite?
Okay, but it's in the
No, I don't think so.
But I believe it's in the heart posture because like how you said in the very beginning, I don't I know deep down that we're all quote unquote his favorite. Like
Yeah,
he
we're all
he
his
doesn't choose
children.
one
Yeah.
over the other.
He loves
He
us
died
all.
for everyone. He would have died for one.
Unconditionally. He loves us beyond measure.
Yes. No, yes, mommy, yes. But what I'm trying to say, it's the posture of heart in which we say it.
Yes.
It's not in a prideful
Arrogance
way
or
or
prideful,
arrogance.
yeah.
It's just in this, like how you said, like those who are forgiven much love much. Even if I went through hell, I still feel like I'm his favorite. Like it doesn't matter what I go through, I still in my heart I'm like, but I'm his favorite because I know that no matter what, you're going to cover me, you're going to protect me, you're going to watch over me. And that's just me claiming what I read and believing what I read.
Yes.
And I'm not,
Yes,
I'm not,
right
I'm
there.
not saying,
She's preaching to
I'm
the
not
choir,
saying
right?
I'm above
Yeah.
you because I believe he
No.
would do the same for you. I
Exactly.
just receive it and I'm like, Lord, I'm going to hold on to that and cling to your word. But the verse that Dad was talking about was, it says, keep me as the apple of your eye. So he was referring to himself.
So the reason that I say I'm the favorite, Gio, I'm going to share this with you, is because I didn't have parents, and I know my sisters will probably listen to it, like, why does she share that? It's the truth. I didn't have parents who doted on me. I didn't have parents who loved me. I didn't have parents who, in the way that it was done with my father, it was like this conditional love. Like, I love you, but only because you're able to do this. I love you because of that. So to me, when I found out that God loves you, why does God, like, this doesn't make any sense why a God that we can't see and he's over there somewhere loves you when your human parents didn't. And didn't show that love. So you never feel favorite, you never feel seen, you never feel wanted, you never feel like you belong. Yeah. So then you come and you find out that there's this God and you're like, why does he love me? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why does he love me? So you start reading why he loves you. Yeah. You start feeling why he loves you. Yeah. You start believing and becoming that love that he called you to be for him. Yeah. He created me for him. Yeah. I wasn't created for anything else, but for him. So how can I not say, after everything that I've been through, you still choose to love me, and how many times I rebuked you and didn't acknowledge you and didn't want you in my life, and how many times I blamed you for what was happening in my life, and you still choose to love, not only love me, to kind of like pick me up and build me up again to the creation that he created. From the beginning of time, from before time, that's what the word says. I thought of you before the creation of time. And I was like, so you build me back up to that, to where I can see you and have this awe for you, this thing that where I want to walk out what you called me to be. I don't know my purpose in life, but every day I try harder to get closer to who you called me to be because of how you love me. Yeah. So I pray, I'm like, I must be your favorite. I must be a favorite or a favorite.
Yeah, because I feel like, because everything you said, I agree with. I think it's just, it's the statement. I think it's all, because everything you're saying makes 100% sense. And like, for me, I think I'm just like, I'm content with just saying, you love me so much. Yeah. And I don't know, I feel like we're arguing in front of our dad, you know? Like, who's your favorite?
Well, no, what you guys are doing almost sounds like, so who's the greatest in the kingdom?
I looked up.
Hold on. 2 seconds.
Let me just real quick. I looked up the definition of humble.
We were talking about favorite, though.
Yeah, I know, but the opposite,
I think you're seeing it through the lens of someone saying it in pride.
Yeah,
We're saying it's not in a prideful way.
But it can lead to pride.
First, possibly, but in this scenario, in this moment, in this conversation, it's not about pride. But favorite, by definition, means a person or thing regarded with special favor or preference. Okay? Now, a person or thing regarded with special favor or preference.
So I'd say he doesn't have favorite.
Well, let's go back to the Hebrew
then
Bible,
why didn't
bro.
he tell Jesus who was his favorite?
No,
he says,
but then you
this
think
is
about
my son
Noah.
whom I'm well pleased.
Okay. Okay. You think about Noah, and it literally says, because I literally Googled, I was like, Lord, not Lord. I was like, Google. No, I said, does the Bible encourage the fact that I'm God's favorite? That's what I said. And Google said no. And Google said no. Oh. Yeah, it's not cheating now, huh? But then they said, but what does the Bible say about favor? Because when I say favorite, it could even be seen as favor. Right now,
I
Noah
have favor with God. There you go.
To me, it's the same heart.
It's different because of how it's spelled, but the meaning's the same.
Right. But you think about, like, it says right here in Genesis, but Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord, and he was spared with his family, and the whole earth was wiped out. So not that I'm not saying that Noah was God's favorite, because that's not what I'm saying.
Let's look up
I'm
favorite
saying,
and favorite.
but I am saying, Mommy,
I'm listening.
No, you're not.
but she has her phone out.
I gotta look up the
But
dictionary.
no, but what I'm
word.
trying to say is it's the heart posture isn't prideful, because that's what you keep going to. Yeah. It's just like when you see it even through the eyes of just, I know that I have favor in the eyes of the Lord because of how his grace covers us, and like how he had, it shows too. Now, it wasn't just Noah. There's other people who found favor in the eyes of the Lord. So in that same context, that's my heart's desire.
Yeah. And let me add one thing, because you brought up the word favor. If you think of, let's just use Noah for an example. He didn't write that. So it was somebody else writing, acknowledging that he had. It appeared like that was one of God's favorites from the outside looking in. So it's not so much that he declared that of himself, but somebody outside is looking.
Somebody declared it of me. That's why I started saying it.
I said amen. Because I could have swore someone had prayed and was like, if I have found favor. Oh no, unless it was Esther or Ruth. It was like, if I have found favor in your sight. Like it's like almost like it's a humility kind of thing. But, honestly, thinking about this whole conversation, I hope I don't win the conversation, because I would feel like I would just, break down your guys' whole thing. Not saying I'm going to win, but I'm just, I don't know, it's just
I don't think
my
there's
personal
any
preference.
winners
There's
here.
no
No.
winners, just favorites.
There's no winners, just favorites.
What did the Lord say about Moses though when he was correcting Miriam and
I think you're going down again a different rabbit hole, Mommy.
no, I'm saying when the Lord took Miriam and
She was isolated from the camp
Aaron
because
aside
she spoke
to
against.
correct them, because when Miriam spoke against Moses, God came and defended Moses. Says, don't I talk with Moses face to face, and all these different things that he does, and it's like, it's almost like implicit, like, hey, me and him have this thing going on that, you know what, I don't have with you guys,
So
So are
you're
you
implying that?
Yeah, are you switching
No,
sides?
I said he had favor.
Oh my God. I need you on my side, Mom.
But I would also say though that it wasn't just by, now that I'm thinking about it, it wasn't just by grace that like someone like Noah had favor. He was, I believe, seen as like a righteous man.
Yeah, it said
So
he was
in right standings with God. So if I call myself God's favorite, for me, it's a reminder that that's where I want to be. So it's not because when I'm hearing it more and more, I'm like, I know it feels like
Would you
contradictory.
genuinely call yourself that if let's say you were in a situation that literally, really, literally you're in a situation where like, God, I'm not feeling like I'm your favorite right now.
Why?
No, because
You're going
it's
through
the
like a
context
trial
of what,
or
it's the
trip,
context of what I'm
something.
saying.
How about this? What's the difference between person A that says, I'm God's favorite, and person B that says, I have the favor of the Lord over my life? What's the difference? It's almost the same.
Well, when you hear favorite, I feel like it implies I'm favored over someone else kind of thing. That's where I think favorite is. So like if you have a favorite ice cream flavor, you prefer this flavor over another flavor. And so
Yeah, I
that's,
agree.
that's
In therapy, they say something like this. In therapy, they say something like this. I'm not sorry how that fell on you. Yeah. My expression and what I said is the truth to me.
Yeah.
But how it lands for you, that's really not my problem to take.
I was like, wait, where is this going?
That was the most sympathetic apology.
Dang.
That honestly, question. Oh no.
I see a
Gio,
skeptic.
I would never say
No,
nothing mean to you.
I
was
literally
just
like my last birthday. I think it was Kinley. She put "You're still God's favorite" or something like that on the cake, and now I'm like, oh no, how I feel.
Well, you're
Okay.
still alive. So
I'm
that's
still
a good
no,
thing.
yeah. But right now I'm just thinking because you had said something before, and this might just be a different context. So tell me if I'm going down a different rabbit hole. But you know how the word says, "Avoid even the appearance of evil." I'm not saying it's evil, but even in what we say could cause someone to quote unquote stumble. Could this be a stumbling block for someone if they hear someone say, like someone who doesn't understand? Because I always preface, I say, God doesn't have favorites, but I'm God's favorites. But it's contradictory. I know, Gio. Okay. But now that I'm thinking about it, my heart posture was always in a sincere, like friend of God way where I just feel like he looks at me and I don't know, like he loves me and it's just this beautiful thing. But now that I'm thinking about it, I could potentially cause someone to misunderstand what I'm saying. I mean, Gio's an example because he not even in a sense of stumbling, but like misunderstanding the word of the Lord. You know, because if someone reads, okay, he has no favorites, so how do you justify what you're saying? In context, it makes sense. But in phrase, it doesn't for people. So I'm just thinking about it now. I'm like, could we actually affect someone's understanding of the word by saying that statement? No. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's okay. So
I'm thinking now.
okay. So the way I say it, I'm God's favorite. God never said it. God never once said it. God never, it's not in scripture. Nobody got it downloaded on their website. No one got a message on their phone that said, hey, Mary, bleep, 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 today, Mary is a God's favorite. This didn't come from God. This came from me. So if it's carrying that much weight for you, something that I'm saying that I feel, then I'm going to question, how much do you believe in God? Because you know what God said about you, about us, about life. But if this little statement, like, I'm God's favorite, if it weighs so much on you, why does it weigh so much on you? God never said it. Yeah. God never once said it.
Exactly. So if God never said it, why do I say it? That's what I'm thinking about now.
Well,
this is now I'm just thinking about it because Giovanni got into my head.
Well, I
Don't
think,
touch my back.
I think, well, you could turn around. There's two different ways to approach it. You could turn around and say, I'm God's favorite, like you guys were saying. Or you could say, I feel like I'm his favorite. And then you're not causing nobody to stumble. If you want to be more technical.
Still cause somebody
Yeah,
to
maybe,
stumble.
but at
right.
least
But
you're
it's like
prefacing
you're prefacing, but also your hands are clean of a possible misunderstanding. Yeah. Because even though it is up to the person how they interpret it, as a child of God and as his daughter and as someone who wants to carry his word rightly and be in right standings with him, I should care about how other people understand me when I'm speaking on something that is involving his word.
So then what would you say to somebody that said, Ruth, I don't understand. I do everything right. I read my word. I have no favor. Why do you have so much favor? So we go back to the same thing again.
Well, it would even go back to like that scripture says the rain falls on the just and the unjust. It's like we have no control of what happens in our lives.
Yeah, I have no control why he gives me favor.
Right. But that statement, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm actually feeling the Holy Spirit of like, listen, Rue.
He's humble.
But no, it's not humility, Mom. It's more of I don't want someone, the word choice. That's all it is. It's not humility, Mama. Calm down. It's not a prideful thing. But it's just, I would hate to cause someone to, even in the slightest thing, to be responsible for someone not understanding or misinterpreting what God's word says because of a simple phrase that I say, which could be adjusted, like how you said, I feel like God's favorite. Yeah.
But in a sense, what you were saying, Mary, regarding about if somebody came and said what they said, what you said earlier with like, if they came to Ruth and said, how is it that, I do all this and that,
like
whatever.
even if I said it, I have so much favor with God. And somebody was like, why do you have so much favor? Like I do the same thing. I read the Bible. They do everything right. They follow the commands. Why don't I have favor?
Well, the hard part that I have to believe then, because there's so many there's scriptures in the Bible that talks about when we're walking in obedience and we're surrendered to Christ, it's like there's benefits, there's things that we receive, abiding in him. Right. And I feel like, favor is one of them. I don't think he picks and chooses, who he wants to give favor to. I don't know. I really do believe does it say in the Bible that he picks and chooses who he gives favor to?
Well, because I'm thinking of like there's just seasons in your walk where some seasons it's evident I have favor with God, and in those seasons where you might not think you have favor, maybe just you can't see it, but maybe God blocked a car out of your way from like swerving into you. Like I think there's seasons in our Christian walk.
So there might be different ways he expresses it.
Yeah, but I'm saying as far as like favor, because favor is like that, like I didn't deserve this, but you got this promotion or something. I think there's just seasons where like, hey, you're going to get a promotion, and then maybe another season, hey, you got laid off. It's just kind of like, hey, God takes and he gives, and you got to be okay with that. I think as far as favor
In the good
goes.
and the bad.
So I think answering that one hypothetical person would be like, hey, it's just, God's in this season, he's just showing
But
me favor.
doesn't it seem like the same thing though? I'm the favorite and he gives me favor.
Well, because I would feel bad if I was that person who was like, oh, how come you have so much favor? And then like say like that phrase came up, I'm his favorite. And then the person's just like, dang, but I think.
Well, I think honestly, if as a believer, maybe we shouldn't get offended or even take it the wrong way if somebody were to say that, because if anything is like, okay, maybe God does favor you more than me, and
That's worse. Yeah, that's like Ida came from left field. Somebody.
I wasn't done yet. No, what I'm trying to say is.
Well, I think what you're saying is like, at the end of the day, I don't think we should like.
Yeah, you shouldn't get offended.
Yeah, I don't think
because we
I'm
all
not
have our
offended
own
if you guys
personal
say
relationship with God.
I'm just trying
in our own way.
Yeah.
And he's gonna, the way he loves you in your alone time might be different than the way he loves me. Because when I'm in my alone time or when I'm with God, I think he's. Go ahead. That's fine.
Well, what do you think? Wait, we'll finish that thought.
You think what? What do you think in the question?
When I'm alone with God in my alone time, I literally feel like that little girl who just got off the school bus, is running with her little backpack through the front door. I throw it off and I run in and I jump on his lap and he just holds me. And he asks me, how was your day today? That's what I feel like when I'm in the alone time, which makes me feel like I am his favorite.
I knew it was coming. All right.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, but you know what? I don't go bragging about it. I don't go telling people, "Oh, I'm God's favorite."
No,
I don't.
You say you're spoiled.
But with Dad, because you told me I'm spoiled in God.
Well, yeah, because how you would.
But in a good way, you said it.
You had the sloppy grace all over you.
She honestly, Mom, let's be honest, she did say it more in a prideful way.
No.
At one time.
He started it though.
At one time.
No. I never ever said I was God's favorite until you actually brought up the fact that we were talking one time and you were sharing with me how in a good way how God you saw me as God's favorite. Not favorite, but
Wow.
No. Stop
but
Mom,
like
Mom,
God,
'cause-
like God,
hold on, we're going off topic though. But
no, it has a lot to do with the topic.
but at the time, I remember
him.
I remember at the time that you confessed that the Lord was addressing pride in your heart with the way that you would see yourself.
I got over
and the way you would
familiar.
share.
Yes,
exactly. So that's all I'm saying.
yes.
So that's probably why you keep going back to the whole humility part.
No, but
But now that you switch sides, hold on. I lost my train of thought now because I was focusing on
that's
Mom.
good. Now you know what it feels like.
No, now I'm just baffled, you. I feel like you ruined my birthday cake.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding.
All right.
No.
Let's do this.
No.
Let's do this.
But it's my eyes feel like they're understanding something, or my brain
Okay.
is.
Let's do this because I think this is the only way to close up the episode. Would be let's go around. We'll start with Mary, and we'll go around. And what is not so much your closing argument, like if we're in court, but what is your final declaration, if that's a better way to say it, regarding you feeling or not feeling his favorite? Did this episode change in any way, shape, or form, or is there anything that you need to modify on how you say it? Because this episode came up spontaneously. This was not something Jesus preached on the Sermon on the Mount, but it just came up spontaneously. So that's why we ended up recording it. So Mary, if you want to start us off.
So I will start us off, and I will say, I hope that no one thinks I'm God's favorite. Like, I hope I didn't impose that. I like to believe that I'm God's favorite. I hope that I never, I hope that I never become over familiar with him. I think that I came to meet him later in life, that hopefully that I continue with this fire for him, this love for him, this longing to get to see him face to face one day, that I hope it's there until that day that I see him face to face. And he can tell me, hey, Mary, you were my favorite, but I'm glad you really thought I was. I'm glad you really thought you were. So
as he whispers in your ear.
As he whispers in my ear, he's like, hey, Mary, my daughter, my favorite daughter.
Drama in heaven.
How about you, Gio?
So for me, I'm still standing on where I opened. What? No, I'm just saying, just for the mere fact that if God says he doesn't have favorites, I'm not going to put words in his mouth. Because if I'm saying I'm his favorite, what? Why is everyone rolling their eyes?
Yeah, no, it's literally only because Mom keeps changing sides throughout this whole episode.
So I don't I don't deny that, there's favorite and there's love that God shows me in my own personal way, that I'm loved and I have his full attention when I come to him in prayer, that he showers me in favor when I don't deserve it, grace, mercy, all this stuff, all this good stuff. But I personally don't feel, especially now talking about it somewhat, I just still feel like a conviction. I don't want to say it for some reason. And that's just my personal.
Solidified your.
Yeah, I think I'm solidified, especially because I saw some people swaying over here. Mary was a rock. She stood on it.
And Gio, on behalf of God, I believe you're his favorite. I really do.
All right.
Go ahead, Ruth. What you think now? Is that birthday cake stand?
No. Honestly, I genuinely do feel in my heart that I am his favorite with the way that he's loved me. No, I'm not finished. With the way that he's loved me and the way that I've felt special, which was just me receiving and believing what I read. And all that Gio said, like, I believe that. And so I do see myself as his favorite at times. Actually, throughout my whole life, I've said it. But ever since I heard that song, I was like, oh my gosh, I am Lord. But it was always just that heart posture of me wanting to be the closest I can to him more than I am to anyone else on the earth, and to be trusted with the secrets of heaven, to be trusted with his heart. And so my heart is like, I do feel that and I desire that, which is why I even sometimes say it when times where it's like hard to believe it, because it reminds me that that's where I want to be. But for the sake of others, I'm going to be more cautious on how I explain it, or even like not say it just, I'm God's favorite. I feel like I'm going to go down to the route of either saying I feel like I am because of what he's done in my life, but I know he sees you all the exact same way. So for the sake of others, because I do care about how I reflect him, I won't say I'm his favorite like that.
Okay.
May I say one thing? I just want to clarify that I don't feel like it's wrong. Like if other people because I genuinely I feel like I don't like this feeling of like Ruth, like I'm not going to say it out loud anymore because I feel like there's
or in front of Gio.
No.
But for me, like I don't think it's wrong. It's just like I know people have
for you it doesn't sit well.
For me, like it's just myself, but I would never judge like, oh, that's and like it's heretical or whatever. Like I think it's awesome that you guys believe that, and maybe it is something. I'm gonna think about it tonight. Like what you initially said, Dad, is about like I wonder if I don't know, but I'm gonna pray about it tonight for sure. Yeah. And
it's not that he like did anything, but now seeing it from how someone could interpret it, like hearing how you interpret it or could be interpreted, and how Mom kept jabbing how it would be interpreted, it just makes me more aware of how people who don't know me and understand could perceive it. But like around you, I wouldn't feel it because you know my heart. But in general, I want to be more. Or you
go back and listen to this episode.
That's so true. But in general, I do want to protect others too with my language. So.
What about you, Ida? Which side are you going to pick? Or what does the fence look like?
Well, I just want to say my name is Ida. and I'm God's favorite. No, just I'm just joking. No. I would say probably instead of saying God's favorite, I would probably say I would say I'm just. Oh my gosh, because it'd be the same thing. Because I was going to say I'm his favorite daughter, but that's even worse.
Wow.
No. Actually, no. I would say I would have to. Honestly, I probably won't say I'm his favorite anymore, but I would say that.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I know we have to end this, but I feel like you're saying that because of like what everyone's saying, but I don't know if that's like a true conviction coming out of you.
If I picture probably the way I feel, but then I guess maybe it goes back to.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
To be honest with you, I never thought of that until you told me I was like spoiled in God. Oh my gosh, like God spoils me.
This is only
so
how you
so
see
me
yourself.
personally, I see myself as that little girl that's his favorite. Okay, it's true. I see myself as that little girl that's God's favorite. But it goes back. If I have to be real though, too, to me, it's more like he genuinely loves me so much.
Right. But
Yeah,
the
okay.
You know what I mean?
Don't brag.
Okay.
So I'm gonna use love. I'm gonna use love.
For me, I think I would conclude with a statement. Well, not only a statement, but like the attitude of my heart is that I have undeserving favor of God over my life that's perpetual.
It's a theologically sound.
I think that would be how I would wrap up this episode and how I would view it for me.
I just want to ask one question, Pastor Tony, because we always ask the mom, we didn't ask the dad. You're a father of 5 as well. Who is your favorite?
He looked right at me. That's crazy.
Honestly, out of the boys,
He has no favorites.
No, I'll maybe roll it over to my grandkids because this is one of the things that I was planning on doing. Is that like when Atlas was here, I would always tell him when we're spending time, just me and him in the office, you're my favorite, and I knew that I was saying that knowing that every time I have that alone time with now Genesis, I'm going to say the same thing. So it's not so much that I would say it in front of the other, but when it's a one-on-one, my plan was to continue to say that.
And that's what God does. God whispers in your ear, you are my favorite.
But what if they're both in the room and they're like, hey, you told me I'm your favorite. You don't, hey. And then once we get to the judgment,
okay, so we're gonna make
hey, God,
we're making a 2-part episode.
I'm just kidding. No, but I think that's awesome.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they would have to fight over that part.
So Gio would be the favorite? Is that what I'm hearing?
Hey, it's not denying
I don't know. Ruth's sitting there with her arms crossed.
I genuinely don't have any favorites.
Ida's face as you say.
But hopefully,
Bro, it's okay, Ruth.
And if I did, it's between me and God.
she's just trying to put on a safe face, but like.
No, I'm making you guys think. That's all.
She hasn't looked at me once.
So this was, like we said, it was a spontaneous episode. We had some fun. I hope you got some enjoyment out of it and actually provoked your thinking to see where you are with God. And at the end of the day, it's an identity issue. It's how you see him and how you believe he sees you. So at the end of the day, every single one of us have the favor of God over our life. It's up to you whether you determine in your heart of hearts whether you want to either say it to yourself or you actually are willing to voice it. Just even if it's just to yourself, not so much in a braggadocious way, but to say, I am his favorite. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week.